We're back with the Leicester series, everybody. We have got the start of our third season here at Leicester City. Not only the first match of the season, but also a pretty big transfer window where we've had to replace Leicester's biggest ever legend, at least according to Football Manager, and I think most people in real life would agree, Jamie Vardy, who's retired from football at the end of last season, where we just missed out on the Champions League, losing in the final to Bayern Munich. Maybe though, in the third season, we can push on even more, get past that fourth place spot in the Premier League, and maybe, I don't know, win a Premier League, win a Champions League, who knows how far we'll go, but I think our signings have been pretty good. So let's run the intro and get right into it. Hi everyone, Jake here. Welcome back to the Leicester series. Welcome to the video where, as mentioned, we are kicking off the start of Season 3 in today's video as we face Norwich, which should be a fairly comfortable win, but you never know. But based on our pre-season, I'd say it's gone pretty well. So we're about to look at our transfers, pre-season, and then the first game of the season. But before we do all that, you guys know the drill. If you could smash the like button for me, that would be absolutely fantastic. If we can try and hit 100 likes, I would be over the moon with that. And don't forget, if you haven't already, to subscribe. About 40% of you guys watching still haven't subscribed, which, you know, we're 12, 13 episodes into the series at this point. It would mean a lot if you do click that button. Get involved in the comments down below. I'll reply to every single comment that I can, and check out the Discord, links in the description. With that being said, we're about ready to go into Season 3, but I just want to say a massive thank you for all your support so far. We've surpassed 10,000 subscribers on the channel. We're going to try and keep going. The Leicester series as a whole has done very well, and I want to keep it up on the channel now that I'm doing part-time YouTube working. I want to focus as much energy as I can into it, and I'm hoping by the start of FM23, which is still a year away, that we'd be on 25,000 subscribers on the channel. I know it's a lot to aim for, but even if we just miss that, we'd still be at a pretty high number. But that's my aim. I'm going to push as hard as I can for that. But with that being said, let's get right into it. So you will see that a game has already been played this season. Just thought I'd point it out that Liverpool have beat Manchester City 5-1 on the first game of the season, which is a great start considering they have been the guys all over the Premier League so far. I actually think Liverpool won it last year. They did, but Manchester City were right up there. And as you can see, they are pretty much of a dominant side, but maybe Liverpool have taken over that role this year. But I'm hoping we can climb up the table with the squad that we've now assembled, because we have made a few transfers and we'll get into that now. Also, as a side note, I've added the face packs now to the game and the kit packs and a new skin, so hopefully it all looks great and looks a lot better than what it did before. We'll have faces for all these players that we sign, but let's get into our sales to start off with. The first one was one that we were considering a lot last year, and even though he's great in real life, Harvey Barnes in Leicester City, the tale is over in this FM save. He's gone to Monaco for about 17 million. I say 17, it was 13 and a half. There you go. Shows how much I'm paying attention. Basically, he had 1 year left on his deal. We had Shoulder Up and Hudson-Odoi playing much better in his position than him. Monaco were interested, and I thought, you know what, we'll let him go. He goes to a good team in Monaco. He can enjoy the rest of his career. He's not a Leicester player anymore, Harvey Barnes, so farewell to him. And we also sold another pretty important player, and that was Wout Faes, who of course has been great for Leicester since signing in real life, but because of the players that we've bought in this summer, I was able to let the Belgium international leave the club to join Real Betis for £10 million. He was good for us when we played, was clearly our fourth choice centre-back, but you know what, Leicester didn't lose too much money there, got some good years out of him for a couple million. I'm sure they'll be fine with that business. Ricardo Pereira also leaves on loan to join Almeria for the course of this season. Outside of that, not too much has gone on other than letting young prospect Will Alves go to FC Basel, where he becomes a key player for them. I think they wanted him to be a star player or something on this loan deal, and so far he's been okay for them. So he's gone on loan, hopefully he can develop, and we've bought a few players in just to tidy this side up and bring in some more quality in those depth options, because I already think we've got a very strong team. But of course, before we go into our incomings, we had to say goodbye to Jamie Vardy, who retired after our last game in the Champions League final against Bayern Munich, where he did get a Champions League final goal to cap off his career. But his job is not done, because he has taken over as an under-21s coach for Leicester. Interestingly enough, his favourite formation is apparently a 5 at the back with 2 defensive midfielders, 2 strikers and 1 attacking midfielder. I don't think he's ever going to go into management, mind you, but we are getting him on a load of coaching courses to try and develop his attributes, and hopefully he can be a half decent coach for us, but we've got to keep him around. I am planning to bring some of those Leicester City legends that won the title back to the club in some capacity that I can. I'm waiting for Schmeichel to retire, or Brighton. All of those I'm going to try and bring in. But let's get into the exciting part. Who did we bring in this transfer window? Thankfully, the squad was in a good position already, so we didn't have to go crazy and bring in loads of players and spend loads of money. In fact, we've still got £50 million in the transfer budget that might be spent by the time you see his next episode, or I might just hang on to it, because realistically, I think our squad's in a great place and I'll only really replace people should they leave. But our first signing was Jamie Vardy's replacement, the man that we've been looking at for quite a while in the save. It's Vitor Roque, a 19-year-old striker who's good in pretty much all areas, has plenty of potential. He's consistent as well, a Brazilian under-20 international who's been playing his football in the first division of Brazil for Atlético Paranaense, where he has been scoring for fun. He comes to us as our 4th choice striker, but over time I'm hoping he can make that role his own as he develops, and I think he'll be a great signing for us in that Vardy replacement role. We didn't spend too much money on him, and that's kind of the theme of this summer. I think our business has been very smart and sensible, and the next player we've signed is a loan signing for Lewis Hall of Chelsea. Now this was because I wanted some depth in a few areas, and this man was super versatile. The scouts were raving about him, but Chelsea wanted £75 million for him at the time, which I wasn't interested in, but he is a young English under-21 international with plenty of potential who's developing a lot in this save, and also is a very consistent performer, which means a lot in Football Manager terms. A nice well-rounded player who can play central midfield in that defensive midfield position, either as a ball winner or a roaming playmaker in our setup. He can play further forward, he can play left back, he can play left wing if he wants to, recently making some appearances in Chelsea's first team in real life, and hopefully as he develops in this save, we might be able to hang on to him, cut some kind of deal to sign him. We'll see what happens, but for now, he's really just here as a depth option, and we'll see if it turns into anything long term. He spent last season on loan at Rangers. He's also been to Swansea, but for Rangers, he was their star player last year. Before we swooped in for him, he was on his way to join Celtic for the season. We paid £1 million over the course of the year. There's a joke optional fee in there of like £80 million, which we're obviously not going to pay, but maybe we can convince him to join us, give him some football, and who knows where this one will end up. Another signing that we made was one where my biases might come into play. I'm a Chelsea fan in real life, and Eden Hazard was a free agent. No one had picked him up, and he was just sitting there after his contract had expired at Real Madrid. And I made a whole video on FM Scout the other day about players that you shouldn't sign in FM, and Eden Hazard was one of them. He was available as a free agent. He's got great attributes as an inside forward and is not expecting too much game time. If one of Hudson-Odoi gets injured, or Maddison, or Berardi, or Shoulder Up, he will then come in as the rotation option on either wing. At a push, he could play up front. He offers us some diversity in terms of where he can play. It's a free deal. It's just for 1 year whilst players are out on loan and developing, and we're waiting for the right kind of signing, so don't expect too much from him. But Eden Hazard is here on a free, and who knows how this guy will do. It could be a flop, or it could be a stroke of genius on my end. But our biggest signing this summer was Josko Gvardiol of RB Leipzig, who was on the transfer list due to an expiring contract for only 31 million. Now, he's been okay for Leipzig over the last couple of years, not exceptional, but for me, he is an improvement in terms of a depth option compared to Wout Fez, who he did sell, and he's got plenty of pros in his coach report. No more potential, supposedly, according to the coaches, but as many of you know, this guy can usually become one of the best players in world football, so it is a surprise to me that his potential is considered so low, but either way, we've bought in Gvardiol, excellent physically, a good passer, and a good depth option at the back, and we've also promoted a few people into this year's squad, and the notable one from the youth academy that we've promoted. Where is he? Let me find him. Here he is, Sammy Braybuck, a player that's considered to have excellent potential by our coaches. 20 years of age, he comes after a loan out at Plymouth in the Championship, where he was very good last year. I believe he was voted their best player last season. Plymouth didn't go up or anything like that, but he had an excellent time. He's an extremely consistent performer as well. For me, he's an improvement in the depth area compared to Will Alves, who goes on loan. He might only play a few times this year, but we're looking to give Braybuck that chance as the season goes on. And it now leaves our side in a good position. As I've mentioned, we have £50 odd million to spend, and we might still go ahead and use it, but currently Goalkeeper I'm fine with. I don't think we could get much better than Bayandir right now. He was excellent last season and a player that I'm very happy to keep. The only way he'll go is if Tottenham come in for him or Manchester United. The reason I know that is Leipzig came in for him for 40 million. We accepted it, and then he decided he wouldn't want to go to Leipzig and would only want to join Tottenham, who didn't end up coming in for him. But now Man U are interested, and I'm sure if they built an offer in, he would want to go there. We've got Justin as our right back option with Matteo Marai. He's again another one that has some interest in him. Silva, Gavardio, Sutalo, Soyuncu. That's 4 very good centre-backs to be able to pick from. We've got Thomas and Mitchell at left-back. Mitchell is wanted by Atletico Madrid. And Ndidi and Soumare in the midfield. I did toy with the idea of getting a new Roman playmaker, but for me, Dewsbury Hall's a good enough backup, and Soumare, based on how he performed at the end of last year, is a phenomenal player. Nothing came in for him in the end, but there was rumours of Real Madrid coming in for a £75 million deal for this man. He was that impressive at the end of last year, and I'm just going to give him a chance to keep going this season. We've got Maddison shoulder up, Calvert-Lewin and Iheanacho, with great players on the bench like Daka, Hudson-Odoi, Victor Roque, Berardi, Eden Hazard. Loads of great talent in the squad now, and unless anyone goes, I don't see myself spending that 50 million unless something great comes up. There are plenty of players though that we have got our eyes on, but right now our focus is purely on this Norwich game that's coming up for our first game of the season. Hopefully we can get off to a good start, and our friendlies suggest that we should do. In our first friendly, we beat PSG 5-0, then LAFC 6-0. We lost to Galaxy 2-1, only to then beat Orange County 6-1, Real Madrid 7-1, and then Girona 6-0. So we are looking phenomenal so far. Everyone's fit and firing. We're ready to go. We're favourites for this match against Norwich. And with that being said, let's kick off season 1, shall we, with our team. Now, I'm not going to play Dewsbury Hall. I do prefer Soumare, but I think that is a very nice lineup. Our bench is also stacked with talent, so let's get right into it, and hopefully we can kick off this season with a win. The morale is great in the squad as well. Everyone's happy, and I'm sure it'll be even better if we can get a win here against Norwich. But first job is to do exactly that. We need to make sure we win. I think realistically, this is pretty much our best 11, our ideal 11 currently. A few players might drop in and out depending on how things are going. As we know, Matteo Marai and James Justin, neither one of them I'm completely convinced on. So right back's an area that might change, but we'll see how the whole season pans out. I just hope we can get off to a great start here. And it looks like we might do, because there's a first highlight that's still continuing for us here, and it is us pressing Norwich very high up the pitch with Ndidi winning the ball back. He plays it through to shoulder up, who is in, and he just hits it wide, but that's a nice start. 30 seconds into our Premier League season, we cause Norwich some issues, who are playing a 4-3-3 system with a defensive midfielder. Here's Gavardio. He almost gets his first goal in his first match with his first ever chance there, which would have been a nice way for him to start his career. Whether he's my ideal centre-back pairing with Silva, I don't know. I still feel like Sutalo is the better player out of him and Gavardio, at least currently in this save, and all of them are all quite young. We've got a lot of under 25 players who can keep getting better, so I'm very happy with this. But there is Soumare with another excellent long ball. The Roman playmaker role is really becoming his own. If you've seen his attributes, he's phenomenal in that area. I don't know if we highlighted it too much earlier, but he's now a 4-star player with great passing, positioning. He can tackle well, so he can do the defensive side of the game, and he's very, very well rounded physically, a leader in the middle of a park. And at 25, I'm inclined to just keep letting him progress and become our mainstay in that midfield. But 30 minutes in, we are the dominant team with 1.16 XG, plenty of possession as well with 60% so far. We just hope that we can convert a chance sometime soon to get our season firing, but it looks like we'll be going into half-time at 0-0 unless Maddison can put in a good delivery, and he does, and once again it's Gavardio rising just over the bar, but maybe that's something we can exploit this year. He's a decent aerial presence. I don't think he's an exceptional one, but he is someone that could score a few goals from those set pieces. I don't like what we just saw from this team though, that's what I'm saying to them, because like I say, I want us to convert a chance, and we might have an opportunity here with James Maddison, a central free kick. He could go to either corner. I'm saying he goes top right. He goes for it, and James Maddison scores to kick off our season. A brilliant free kick, 1-0 up against his old club nonetheless. He goes and celebrates. There's a little chicken dance in the corner. I'm sure the Norwich fans won't be happy with that, but it's a great finish from Maddison. Curls it in, and he has got to play well this year to compete with Berardi, who is phenomenal at the end of last season. But I'm giving Maddison the chance right now, and him and Berardi are going to battle it out on that right wing spot. But here's Norwich's first chance, and they've managed to score. What was that, offside maybe? Altay Bayındır made a good save from Koulibaly's header, not the Koulibaly that plays for Chelsea, mind you, and then Christos Tzolis, former wonderkid, or still wonderkid in FM terms, goes and taps it in, and it has been disallowed, thankfully. So the only real highlight we've had so far is a disallowed goal from Norwich, and we'll see why that was. Yeah, he's miles offside. He's basically standing right next to the goalkeeper, and we stay 1-0 up for now. But that does show, though, we need to make sure we get a second just to kill this game off. Matches like this against a team like Norwich, we really need to make sure we are winning, and I think Shoulder Up has won as a penalty here. I don't actually know who our penalty taker is without Jamie Vardy anymore, so we'll see who does take that role over. But I think after this, we'll start to make some subs. Who is up for it? Is it going to be Maddison? I'm going to guess it is, and it is Maddison, who already has a goal this game. Shoulder Up wins it. Maddison to take it. Can he make it 2-0? He goes, he shoots, and it's saved by Angus Gunn, and that's what he gets for doing a chicken dance against his old club in the corner of the pitch. The fans weren't happy. They booed him whilst he took the penalty, and he hits it, a really poor one actually, right into Angus Gunn. Maybe we should have had Eden Hazard on for that. He would have been a good penalty taker. That's the real reason I've brought him in. There you go, that's my genius. Champions League final, we'll have Eden Hazard take the penalty. Oh, but here's Calvert-Lewin. Have we scored? Is it offside? It's definitely offside. Right, something was wrong there. I don't know what happened. But anyway, 60 minutes in, let's make some changes. 2.42 XG. We need to make sure we finish a second goal here. Just before I can make the changes, there is a highlight though. It started off with Norwich, but we've since won it back. Maddison with a good ball through to Iheanacho, who shoots, finishes, and I think he was offside. And it looks like it might get disallowed here. It's going to VAR. Goal review taking place. And it's goal awarded, it's 2-0, and that is a great start to the season for us. Maddison getting an assist, so that's a goal and an assist for him. And Iheanacho is able to open his account. Good play between Calvert-Lewin and Maddison, and then Iheanacho was in behind to score, and now it's time for the substitutions. First thing I'm going to do is take Shoulder Up off for Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's had a decent game, but Callum Hudson-Odoi, as well as Shoulder Up, want to be considered star players right now, so I need to make sure they both get ample game time. Tyrick Mitchell not having the best of game. Let's bring him off for Luke Thomas. Let's give an opportunity to the young Victor Roque. I'll leave Calvert-Lewin on in the hopes he can get his first goal this year. I'm going to bring on Dewsbury Hall for Wilf and Ndidi, and I'll leave the other sub for a few seconds and then probably just bring on Daka as the game fizzles out. But hopefully we can add another couple of goals here, but 2-0 is a perfectly fine result. But Maddison isn't done yet. He plays in the set piece. It's Antonio Silva, who is of course developing into a top draw centre-back for us. It looks like he is going to be our best player at the club for a few years now. And as long as he can keep up his performances this year, I'm going to be very happy with him. I think he's a great signing so far. Even though he costs a lot of money for a young player, I'm very happy with what he's done in a blue shirt already. We've bought on Patterson Daka. There's a couple minutes to go, and Norwich are going to try and upset our clean sheet, but we managed to defend well. Hudson-Odoi to Daka. I'd love to see Vitor Roque get his first goal as a Leicester player. I haven't seen him at all yet. If you don't already know, I don't manage the friendlies. I let the assistant take care of it. So this is my first time seeing him in a blue shirt. But here is James Justin. And we might have one more chance to finish the game off with. And I do hope it does fall to young Vitor Roque up front to get him a goal on his debut for Leicester City, his Premier League debut as well. Here goes Luke Thomas. He moves forward. Plays in Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi goes back to Soumare. Soumare does play the long ball forward. It is Vitor Roque. He plays it across to Maddison, who taps it in. It's not a goal for him, but it's an assist. And a great day for James Maddison, though, who scores 2, assists 1. And if he had scored that penalty, he would have been loving life right now. A hat-trick against his old club. But again, it's a very good incisive pass from Soumare. Vitor Roque does brilliantly though, and Maddison just pokes across, gets in front of the defender, makes it 3-0 on the day, and that is a brilliant start to the season and one that we are very happy with. It's what we expect, of course, but we can't complain when we win 3-0. The players are happy, I'm happy, and this year, I'm telling you, we're actually going for the Premier League title. I want to really compete for it this year. And I think we can with the depth in the squad we've got. Newcastle won't be an easy game up next, then Man U at home, but I think we could do it. But of course, the series is all about winning the Champions League, so we'll be hoping for a decent group there. If we can progress into the knockout rounds, who knows what can happen. But that is the end of this episode, the start of Season 3. Plenty more to come, but thank you again, all of you, for all your support. If you can smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, that would be great. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments. But most of all, you know the drill. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.